Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Comic Show, weekly comic roundup, and now we're moving on to our Avengers titles and Absolute Carnage tie-ins. So we'll start off with the Avengers. So where we left off, Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes has been having problems with his Hell Charger, and well, they decided they'd do an exorcism. Well, Robbie and his car ended up stuck in hell, face to face with the King of Hell, Johnny Blaze, also known as Ghost Rider. And Blaze challenged Robbie to a race through hell. However, Blaze cheated, and Robbie ended up face to face with most of the other past riders. Back on Earth, turns out that the Cosmic Ghost Rider was in the Hell Charger, and then it got loose and briefly possessed Avengers Mountain, only to finally get itself basically but that was then removed from possessing the mountain. It's still in the mountain though. So we start off in hell with Robbie touching base with all the other Ghost Riders. And he explained that it's more than just Robbie's brother's life and death at stake. And hey, keep in mind, just because Blaze was a good guy in life doesn't mean he's a good guy now. No noble soul ever sat in front of the damned. And but Robbie then adds, no pressure, just the most important race of my life, me against the scariest Ghost Rider who ever lived. But the rider he's talking to says, he wouldn't go that far because there have been scarier. Cut to Avengers Mountain. Thor's facing off with Cosmic Ghost Rider, who declares that the most annoying part about traveling back in time is having to kill the same people over and over again. She-Hulk manages to slam Cosmic Ghost Rider's face into the handle of Mjolnir. Takes him to it, but he manages to get it loose. And his headless body is able to smack She-Hulk around. And then apparently She-Hulk and Thor have been working on a new move wherein She-Hulk channels some of the gamma radiation she's been building into Thor, which he then channels out through his hammer. So, gamma lightning. And he ends up in Tony's room, with it has bits and pieces of armor strewn about all over the place. Just as Captain Marvel attacks. In Hell, the race continues, and a mass of demons is standing in Robbie Reyes' way. However, the other riders all show up and like, no. This is between the kid and His Highness. You want to get involved, you got to go through all the other riders. You got to go through the rest of us riders. So, Robbie takes the lead. But Callus the Void from the Celestial Final Host pops back up and is under the control of Robbie's serial killer uncle Eli. Back at the Avengers Mountain, Cosmic Ghost Rider is facing off against Captain Marvel. Colt manages to summon his bike, and he makes himself a gun out of bits and pieces of Iron Man armor. So he hops on his bike, starts to make good his escape, and yeah. Cap and Black Panther power themselves up with the floor chargers, which have basically give them a celestial power boost. Blade is kind of watching. He's like, this really isn't my fight, so. You know, Power Cosmic, Space God Mumbo Jumbo. Not his kind of shtick. So Boy Thing gets involved and gets burned for it, which gets Blade off the sidelines. And Blade manages to stop Cosmic Ghost Rider with the gun that Hellstrom gave him at the beginning. And Cosmic Ghost Rider's like, why the hell would the Avengers be working for Hellscum like Blaze? And it's like, and finally Thor's like, we're not working for Johnny Blaze. And you know, what kind of idiot would believe we were? And well, Cosmic was like, oh, okay, I get it. I guess I'm that idiot. But he explains, he's out in space, got pulled into hell, and Blaze was going on about some race and blah blah blah, and he was going to murder the guy a bunch and then be on his way. But then, well, Blaze sent him into that car, trapped me in it, and he had to fight his way out, fight them, and so also Blaze can grab Robbie. But he decides that he'll help them out going to hell because he kind of wants to get some payback on Blaze. But before the Avengers go to hell, they need something. There's one thing they need: a sweet ass ride. Back in hell, Robbie's facing off against the Dark Celestial possessed by his uncle. And he's telling up the souls of Robbie's parents. And Uncle Eli smashes the car. Which pretty much would make it, unless Robbie's able to fix it and outrun and catch up and pass Johnny. It looks like Johnny's going to win the race. In which case he'll take Robbie's power and then bring all of Robbie's family down to hell to join Robbie. That's where the issue ends. Also, this week we got ourselves an Avengers one-shot. The Avengers, Loki Unleashed. Now, this takes place after the landmark Avengers story, Avengers Under Siege. Quick version is Baron Zemo brought together a massive Masters of Evil lineup, and they attacked the mansion. Thor, Hercules was left comatose. Jarvis was badly injured. Yeah, it wasn't good. So we open in Asgard at Loki's remote castle, where he's looking at his scrying sphere, trying to find the power source. Lorelei, however, is just like, hey, look, pay attention to me instead, huh? Screw all that. What about me? So he go away. But then his wife appears and says, hey, you know what? Do me a favor. I got to go to this planet to get a source of power for the good of Asgard. I need you to hold on to this Norn Stone to be my anchor. So, alright. Back in Avengers Mansion. The mansion is being rebuilt after the Master of Evil attack, and Cap and Tony Stark are walking through the rubble and discussing what had happened. Thor and Wasp are working on restabilizing various pieces of the mansion. And Tony, upon hearing about the injuries incurred by everyone, is like, okay, yeah, everyone on this team, I'll take care of your medical bills, okay? We take care of our own. And we meet up with Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau. At this time period, Monica Rambeau was Captain Marvel as opposed to Carol Danvers. Anyway, Monica is with Jarvis's mother, talking about some of the illustrious times that Jarvis has had with the Avengers. And so, turns out, luckily, in their attack of the mansion, Master of Evil somehow managed to avoid finding where Iron Man hides his armors. And so, Monica Rambeau shows up and reports that Jarvis is resting comfortably and his mother is in good spirits. And so, everyone together, Wasp, who at this point becomes chairman of the Avengers, explains that she's arranged to lease office space in Four Freedoms Plaza. And, kind of a give and take, as they did, let the Fantastic Four base themselves out of the mansion while Four Freedoms Plaza was being built. So they did manage to get a discount rent-wise. The Quinjets will continue operating the Hydro base, not Hydro, until the mansion is fully rebuilt. Pending approval by the National Security Council and the FAA, Iron Man explains that Tony Stark, at the time, Iron Man was being very guarded about his secret identity for that week. He was being very guarded about it, I should say. But he explains he had still has enough pull to get in Washington to get the approvals that the Avengers need. And then Sigyn, Loki's wife, pops up looking for Thor. Tells him, oh yeah, so Loki went into his found a source of power in this scrying sphere, gave me a Northern, to anchor himself to. But I lost back in the scrying sphere. Then she passes along the Nornstone to Loki or to Thor, and then Doctor Strange shows up, kind of saying, "Hey, so there's a great mystical disturbance that requires the attention of the Avengers." And it's Loki. It's Loki and the sorcerer Sisneg is from the future. He stopped in present day on the distant planet Yan, which is a nexus of mystic forces and paradoxically the home to a small technocratic society of scientists. And apparently, Sneg and Loki are battling one another. So, the Avengers, along with Doctor Strange, who at this point in time was not an Avenger, like not even a reserve, they head to the planet Zan. They're met with a recording basically saying, hey, so geophysical forces beyond our control have been unleashed by some visitors. Science colonies retreating to the farthest moon for safety and advise anyone else to do likewise. So they go out, they catch up to Loki and Sneg. Loki's trying to convince Sneg to work with him, but no. I don't need an ally. They end up finding some giant bat creatures and saving them off. Complete with a 90s era Batman joke. And then when Thor arrives to, stop the battle between Loki and Sneg, the two both zap Thor, which leads to Loki saying, hey, look, see? We're on the same side, man. We should work together. So what do you say, huh? You obviously are not an ally of Thor, so I'm not an ally of Thor. We should be friends, right? Well, yeah, So Sneg's like, hey, you know what? Sure, I'll take you up on your offer. And he explains that Loki is well known in the 31st century, where Sneg comes from. And he's fairly certain that Loki intended to drain Sneg of his accumulated energy. So Sneg beat Loki to the punch and basically pulled the same thing on Loki. But Captain Marvel breaks it up, gets between the two. Sneg takes a shot at her, but she's in a holographic form, so the blast goes right through her and encases Loki in rock up to his neck. And as Loki begins to complain, Doctor Strange puts a chunk of metal over his mouth so he can't speak. Sneg is stopped. And Doctor Strange is about to punish him, basically about to stop him, and then the Living Tribunal shows up and basically says, "Hey, so yeah, Sneg basically kind of sort of created the universe. So in his future, he creates the universe. So we kind of said that we can't allow you to do this to him, but he needs to gather wisdom. And so he's sent further back through time to learn what godhood most requires and to fulfill his destiny. And so it's like, okay, you know what? Yeah. Everything's fine here. We're good. Doctor Strange heads out. The Avengers, what they're going to do. Meanwhile, Loki returns home, and his wife explains to him that, yes, I went to Thor, asked him to help find you, and he did. And so like, oh. Of course, now he's kind of, he's a bit galled that he's responsible for creating the Avengers. But this is something, keep in mind also that this is something he makes peace with, and later will even tend to, crow about in his moments of, some of his less evil moments. Moving on to Captain America number 14. So where we left off, Cap was along the southern border, going up against a group called the Watchdogs. We begin with a bar. Young woman walks in, hands the bartender her phone and charger, which the bartender plugs in, and it lets off a sonic burst, which doesn't affect her. And she takes down the various bar patrons in increasingly brutal manners. Turns out it's Echo. Cap has him grab one of them. And turns into a secret door in the men's room, which leads to the Watchdog's hidden base. The Watchdogs being a clearly racist militia group. So, Cap, White Tiger, and Echo start making their way through the Watchdogs, but they're informed that, well, first of all, there's AIM's involved. Then, which would explain the tech. Turns out that while they've managed to find the prisoners they've got, their lights are blinking out. Looks like they're being executed. So they split up, with White Tiger going down the stairs and Echo and Cap going down the elevator. But it turns out that the prisoners are not being executed. They're being trafficked. So White Tiger does what she can to fight off the Watchdogs, but is stopped by Sin, the Red Skull's daughter, who's there. Who does kind of lay her out a bit until Echo shows up, gets the drop on Sin, only to be also taken down promptly until Cap makes his presence known to Sin. And, well, that point, Sin decides, okay, I'm gone, jumps through the portal, and then deactivates it. And so it turns out that Peggy Carter's chat with Fury went about as well as one can expect. Apparently she pointed Fury in the direction of the Watchdogs, and, well, she puts it, let him to the water, and let's see if he drinks. Now it turns out that Tony Ho managed to get into the Watchdog's computer. There's quite a bit of people. Amongst those involved are Selene, Wilson Fisk, Baron Strucker, Cheer Chadwick, I think is her name, and of course Sin's involved, so Crossbones is too. But they did manage to find out where the migrants were being trafficked to. Madripoor. And so the issue comes to its end. Next up, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 30. Now, this actually makes for quite the landmark. This is the first issue of a modern set, Peter Parker-focused Spider-Man title that I have bought. A Spider-Man title set in present day in the primary Marvel Universe that I've bought since One More Day. And all because it's a tie-in to Absolute Carnage. So, I'm going to say some of the events in the issue take place after Absolute Carnage number 3. So we begin with a flashback to a couple weeks ago at the Ravencroft Institute. Kindred shows up and seemingly kills Mysterio, though doesn't kill him too much, and then makes his way to Norman Osborn's cell and kind of just monologues about Norman. Cut to Spider-Man talking about, how all the symbiote mess on Earth is his fault. And basically, okay, yes, this is what's going on. So, Peter's trying to save Norman Osborn, who is his godson, and Dylan Brock. But Carnage comes after him. Norman Osborn, Carnage, thinking he's Cletus Cassidy. They duke it out, and we get a flashback to when Harry got out of the hospital and the surprise welcome home party for him. This is kind of you go back and forth between Spidey fighting Carnage Norman, and the flashback. Then we cut back to Kindred. He continues his monologue about Norman. But he also explains that Norman will never get to kill Spider-Man. But then he can take solace in the fact that he won a long time ago. And the issue ends with Norman, with Carnage symbiote falling back from Norman's head, and Norman standing over a bloodied up Spider-Man. And so the issue comes to its close. Moving on to Absolute Carnage Miles Morales, number 2. Where we left off here. Carnage's doppelganger's got Miles. And he's now part of the Horde. It goes back and forth between the symbiote and Miles' inner monologue. But Carnage sends Miles after a target. Miles and Happy Dan after a specific target. We get a flashback to Miles and his uncle Aaron at the Brooklyn Bridge. And Miles remembers who he is. But the symbiote's trying to bury that part of him. Turns out their target is J. Jonah Jameson. So they go after Jameson. Jameson is actually smart here and tries to basically says, okay, they're after me, so you run I'm going to run this way, you run that way. Because it's me they want, not you. So, yeah. So, Norman makes a break for it, basically trying to get them away from everyone else. But it turns out that the publishing house he's at is under the protection of Silver Sable. So, Silver Sable and her Wild Pack fight off Happy Dan and Symbiote Miles. It's not going well. But finally, Miles manages to assert some control and okay, we're not going to kill. And notice the fact that, okay, well, the simulator system goes to the link, so I could probably communicate to the guy in Dan somewhat kind of telepathically, so they do. But Silver Sable pops back up and the symbiote's able to take control again. And he manages to subdue Silver Sable, chase down Jameson, and put the bite on his shoulder. That's where the issue ends. All right, that's it for this portion of the roundup. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.